Okay, hey, here we are on the bench, late night. I wanted to get this video out to one of my subscribers. Doing some troubleshooting on a Williams Defender cocktail, and not sure if their auto up, manual down test button is working. So strangely enough, from one of the guys I buy stuff here in Thailand, he found another Williams, probably Jouster Defender coin door. Spin you around. And I went ahead and picked it up, and we're gonna. It's kind of cool because we got a question about this. So I'm gonna try to do this one-handed, and I got some schematics over here. So without asking a whole lot of details to my subscriber, I guess if I was here, let's go ahead and test the switches. I'll show you how to test the switches. So they're gonna be 3 poles, so it's like 2 sides, and the middle pole is common. So I just had this kind of all hooked up, but let's hook it up. I ran the wires back to my connector, and I don't think this is wired quite the same as that. So we'll at least just check the switches, how you can tell if your switches are working. So just continuity, meter is on, oh, my meter is so flaky. Oh, good Lord. Oh, okay. Well, it's not flaky. I guess it's working. So, should be a normally closed switch. And there it is. Okay, so we can check the other pole. We could do it on any side here. Okay, but this is the guy that causes the problem. So he's going to test kind of the same way, except for he's going to hold. So let's get him clipped on. Let's get the back pole, and he's got stuff soldered onto him already. So not impossible, but I could clip on the connector end too. You can clip on the connector end, but I want to get it right on here. Okay. Your manual switch should kind of test like that. And it's just a loose connection there. Okay, let's test that front pole. And we'll get back on this guy, the middle guy. And okay, now see, he's going to be backwards. Let's go back to the back one. And okay, so there it is. That's how you can tell if your switch is bad. I wouldn't say it's a always closed switch. And this guy, but the thing, I'm not sure if these are wired quite the same, but you should on your Defender have a common jumped, and then that kind of looking at the circuit, why you need this wire is because it creates kind of 2 switches in the same circuit going back around the ground. So your manual down, open or closed, is gonna feed a different signal back to all the way back to the data bus or address bus, and we're gonna go that way in a minute. So that's why that wire has to be there. Okay, so man, I wanted to keep this short. This is a weird configuration I've never seen. They have a diode between the common and the open or the closed position. So that diode is jumping back to that back pin. Kind of weird. But this switch, okay, so this is your advanced switch. So you're going to be using most of these in combo most of the time. And then your high score reset switch over here, you can test them the same way. So let's get him clipped on there. I'll probably just clip right on that diode. There we go. Okay, and then that back should be the same. Oh, I can't, the wires are tight. This will get me in, keep me in shape for my Williams Defender board, or cocktail I have to do too. Yep. Now it's closed and open. And if I get back on here, at least hold him. And then he's open, or closed and open. Okay. Sorry if I messed that up. Beep or no beep. So let's go back over here and see what's happening. So if you have all of that, what I would check, you got to check all these wires on your cabinet and make sure that the grounds are good. You have a ground, that light green one actually jumps back around and is a ground over to the chassis. So you have to check all your wires. I've seen these so many times, like just from getting the wires moved around, it snaps the solder. Got to check those. First time I've ever seen that diode, but now you know how to check those. Same deal on your connectors. Got to check for the corrosion. I mean, this was pretty corroded. I wouldn't repin that. I think I just cleaned those really good. But you have to make sure you're making good connection. And also on your ROM board, that connector, it would be 2J2, this guy. Make sure he's seated good. None of the pins are corroded or pulled. And you might just find your problem there. So let's go over to the logic of that. So back on the ROM schematics here. This is your 2J3, and then your auto up, manual down. It's pin 1. Advance is pin 2. 3 is your coin, and 4 is your high score safe. So 1, 2, and 4 are kind of what we're looking at, but it kind of makes sense how when you boot into the test mode, it just boots the game. I mean, the game gets booted completely different. That's why these controls are separate and they're not on the interface board. This is like direct control with the CPU and all of that logic when you go into test mode. Okay, so following these over, you have some probably filter capacitors, and I think this IC23 is a resistor network array of some sort. It's being used on the sound and for your test switch functions here. So 14, 13, 15, and 12, those are the 4 signals. And then coming over here to IC24, which I think is a CMOS 4049. It's just a hex inverter. So if you have your switch and you're toggling, okay, I would just follow that right back into the board and just start checking everything here. Your connection, maybe there's corrosion, broken connection, but you could follow it, especially your auto up, manual down, pin 14 of that into the IC24, 9 and 10. You can see if that chip, check out that chip, make sure it's working okay. Whatever's going in should come out. I think it should be high. Let's see, high. If that's high coming in, inverted, it's going to be low going out. So, but check it out. It does go as final destination, IC22, which is a PIA, peripheral interface adapter. So I think these are kind of known to be bad, but you got a lot of stuff to look at here, all the way from the PIA. I mean, you could even come to the PIA. You know, if you got it on a bench situation with a scope or logic probe, I'd just use a logic probe if I was down in the cabinet, if you don't have it on the bench. But I would check the connectors, because my Defender cocktail connectors are awful. They're the snap-in kind where the wires snap in between the 2 metal prongs. That's how all of these connectors are on my Defender, and I want to redo it. But hopefully that helps you troubleshoot, and anybody else troubleshoot at least the test switches, all the way back, following it to the ROM board, and kind of how they end up on the PIA. Okay, that's long enough. Let's get this